to see it. As we get going today, my name is Ted Doom. I am one of the program coordinators at the Cedar Hills Rec Center, and I oversee our preschool programs as well as a few other areas of programming there at Cedar Hills. As Karen said, as we go through, if you have questions, feel free to put them in the chat. A lot of stuff I feel like we do cover in the presentation, so if we don't answer it right away, chances are it's in the presentation and we will cover it at a later time. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Tyler to go ahead and introduce himself.
Yeah, hello everyone. My name is Tyler Franson. I'm the program coordinator here at Conestoga Recreation Aquatic Center. I oversee our Fano Farmhouse as well as our bilingual Spanish immersion preschool.
And I'm Rachel Fort. I'm our environmental education program coordinator over at the Tualatin Hills Nature Center, and I oversee the program we have here and also the one over at the Jenkins Estate.
Again, most of the information can be found online on the website. The link is there. We will get it in the chat a couple times throughout the presentation. So if you do have questions or looking for contact information, my information, Tyler's and Rachel's is all on the website. Feel free to reach out to us with any questions that you do have.
Sweet, and I'll get us started with our philosophy. So Conestoga and Cedar Hills, we both follow, or we are inspired by the Reggio Emilia philosophy, and that approach is really focused on creative play and social learning. We really emphasize collaboration with each other as well with the teachers and help them problem solve and come up with their own hypothesis and solutions using the environment around them. So we've got a lot of talented staff that are willing to, help the kids through that. And if you guys have any further questions on the Emilia or the Reggio Emilia approach, please let us know.
And then over at the Nature Center and at Jenkins Estate, we have the Nature Kids program, which is a nature-based preschool where we're integrating environmental education with what's called the creative curriculum, which is a hands-on, child-led, experiential preschool experience. Just getting out in nature, getting dirty. And we do the same program here at the Nature Center and over at Jenkins Estate, but they're a little bit different just because it's a different outdoor area to explore. And I think I'm the next one. Great. So we have a whole bunch of incredible staff at all of our centers. Everyone is very passionate about working with preschoolers. We keep a 1-to-10 ratio at the most, and sometimes it's less than that. And then our classroom is typically one lead teacher with a co-teacher or 2 co-teachers if it's a larger class. And then each of us is a program coordinator that's over that program.
So we have a couple key dates for registration. Obviously, we're having our open house right now. Tomorrow morning, we will start registration for current families and siblings. So if you are currently signed up in one of our 9-month preschool programs, that means starting tomorrow at 9 a.m., you can go into any of the centers and register or call in starting at 9 o'clock. It is dependent on the facility. So if you are looking to sign up for Cedar Hills, you do need to go into Cedar Hills or call Cedar Hills. Same thing if you're looking to sign up for one of the programs that's ran out of the Nature Center, which includes Jenkins Estate, you'll need to go into the Nature Center or call them. And Conestoga and the bilingual program, same thing. Registration will happen exclusively at Conestoga. Starting next week on Thursday, we will start open enrollment for registration, and it will open up online. So everybody will be able to register online using the class codes, which we'll have in the presentation. They're also listed online. In order to register and sign up for preschool starting in the fall, there is a $50 non-refundable enrollment fee. And once that's paid, that guarantees your spot in the program for this next year. Here is kind of a broad list. It shows all of the programs that we're offering. Again, Cedar Hills will have programs running in the morning. It shows enrollment numbers and everything. Again, it's all listed online. Fano Farmhouse has programs both morning and afternoon. Conestoga has a bilingual program that's running there. And both the Fano Farmhouse and Conestoga, as I said, will be ran registration out of Conestoga. And then the Tualatin Hills Nature Center and the Jenkins Estate. Again, if you're looking at one of those programs, registration will be done through the Tualatin Hills Nature Center. Financial, as we go into registration, again, it's at $50. It is non-refundable. It essentially just holds your spot, guarantees that you'll have a spot in the program for this upcoming year. As we get into tuition, our first tuition payment for September will be due on August 15th. All tuition payments are due on the 15th of the month, prior to the month of the actual service. So September's tuition is due August 15th. October's tuition is due September 15th. Any payment that's made after the 15th of the month, there will be a $30 late payment associated with it. All of our prices are listed as in-district pricing. Those who are out of district can still register for our programs. Tualatin Hills has an out-of-district assessment, which is just over, I believe, $100 per season. And so out-of-district registrants, by paying that out-of-district assessment, will drop the pricing down to the in-district, and it will save you money by paying that assessment fee over the term versus paying the out-of-district assessment price. And I think that is everything we do. We want to make sure that payments are made before the start. So that September tuition has to be paid before classes start. If it's not paid, you are considered unenrolled from the preschool program. We want to make sure that, if you're having any difficulties with payments, please reach out and talk to us. But we want to make sure that that's getting paid before the start of service. Financial aid is available. We do have, through Tualatin Hills, an application process. If you fill it out, there's more details on our website. It does require proof of income. If you are able to be below that federal free meal guidelines, is a lot of the pricing structure. But you're more than welcome to check out online, see if you qualify for the first day or for the financial aid. And then you do have to fill out an application. Financial aid for the district is done on a yearly basis. So if you do qualify and apply and get approved, then you have a certain dollar amount that's available for the family, and that's available to be applied however you guys decide to use it. It is only available for in-district residents. But if that's something that you're interested in, you can always reach out to us or check the website for more information.
Yeah, so as Ted mentioned, all this information is online, but this is kind of a breakdown of each center's classes that they offer. So at Cedar Hills, they offer the Jumpstart program. It's Monday through Friday. You can see there that the ages are a little bit different for each day, but they have the morning classes at Cedar Hills. And then if you have questions, you can talk to Ted more about that. I run the Fano Farmhouse. So Fano Farmhouse is located about a half a mile away from Conestoga. We run 4 classes out of there. We have a morning class and an afternoon class. As you can see, all of our names are named after onions, which is because our old farmhouse used to be on an onion farm. So we try to keep the honor of the onion farm in our program and go through the history of all that. And it's a pretty homey feeling. So that's the Fano Farmhouse. The next one we have is the bilingual class. This is held here at Conestoga. You do not need to be, you don't need to know Spanish. The the lessons are taught in English and Spanish. It's more on the immersion of the culture and, collaborative learning, just like that Reggio Emilia approach. So that again is held here. It's Monday through Friday. We offer our morning classes from 9 to noon. So again, if you have more information about that, you can always ask me. The Nature Center also runs their classes. They have one afternoon class, the Owls there. And then they also are running classes out of the Jenkins Estate, which are morning classes out at that offsite location. And again, Rachel Fort is the coordinator for those classes as well. So. And then at the end of August, or I guess in the beginning of August, when we're kind of initiating our tuition, you'll be getting a welcoming email that has all sorts of information. One of the pieces of the information you'll get is this class calendar. It'll look like the document here that's portrayed, but it has all of our holidays that we will not have classes. So keep that in mind as you kind of plan out the school year. We don't necessarily always follow the Beaverton School District, but it could be close. But just keep an eye on that. The teachers will provide reminders of days that we will not have class and stuff, but these are some major holidays that we know that we won't have the following school year. So.
Great. And then when we do check in and out, you will be showing a photo ID at checkout or at pickup each day. The person who goes and picks up the child does have to be authorized. And so you can update that in your THPRD account. And then it's printed out on their emergency contact form. So we just ask once you get registered for the program, you can go online and update their emergency contact form. And so that way we have it. And anytime you need to go and change that, you can just let the teachers know and we'll get it updated for you if you need help with that. And then we just ask for you to be on time. So daily schedule, we all kind of follow a similar flow at our sites. When we're doing check-in, the kids are doing a little bit of free play and just getting settled. And we all do a circle time. Maybe we'll go over the calendar, talk about the weather, talk about, what our theme is for that day or that week. We do a snack time in all of our programs. We do ask for peanut-free snacks. We do have a number of allergies. They'll do some story time, and then we'll break out into our learning centers. So if their theme that week at the Nature Center, it's probably going to be a nature theme. Maybe it's about beavers. We're going to be focusing on, learning our letters and numbers through nature. So maybe we're counting beavers that week. And then everybody goes and does either an outdoor time at the Nature Center. We go on hikes, or maybe at Cedar Hills, you'll go out to the playground for a while or do some recreation activities. And then it's pickup time.
As kids are coming, most of the stuff is going to be supplied at the preschool. We do ask that the kids are bringing a reusable water bottle so that they can fill it up to have something to drink throughout class. Again, having a snack, looking to be nut-free. We do ask if you have children who have allergies that you're reaching out to the program coordinator. We can add some additional restrictions or put out information to other people in the class if so needed. Also making sure that the kids have a change of clothes. Oftentimes we are doing projects. Sometimes they get, wet or messy or just, want to be able to change. A lot of times we are outside, whether it's, raining outside or not. So making sure that kids are dressed appropriately for the weather, and that their change of clothes is appropriate for the weather. We want to make sure that as they're coming to class, they have, closed-toed shoes. If it is, really rainy, wet, especially at the Nature Center, rain boots could be a very, very useful tool for them to have. As they're coming, we ask that they also have, a snack, which is not a lunch. We want something that, the kids can eat in just a couple minutes. It's something to kind of help tide them over throughout class. Most of our preschool programs are 2.5 to 3 hours. So we do understand that they're going to want something to eat. They're going to, be hungry, and it does help keep them focused and engaged in class. We do have a few things that we ask that, they don't bring to class, that they leave at home. The big thing is anything that, you don't want to go missing or to get broken, anything like that. We really ask that you leave it home. If they have, certain toys like a stuffed animal or a blanket or stuff like that, we really try not to have it in class. We want to make sure that, those items are kept safe at home, just so that they don't go missing during class.
All right, so field trips. Most of our preschool programs will take a field trip throughout the school year. We do hold these field trips during our normal scheduled class time, so it's not like we're changing the schedule for the field trip necessarily, but we do ask that all the adults transport their own child to and from the field trip location. We also encourage the family to stay on site and participate with whatever activities that the teachers have assigned for the day. It's a great time to kind of meet other parents. We've had families start to create play dates and those types of things. So it's a good collaborative effort on these field trips, and it's good fun. This year we went to an apple orchard and the pumpkin patch. And so these all can change throughout the year, and you'll get more information as the school year goes on from the teachers and what the plan is. But field trips are a good time for all the kids. We also partner up with a professional photographer that takes school photos. Conestoga does the fall and spring. This is a great way to get to see how much your child has grown over the 9 months. She does an amazing job of getting these awesome pictures, and she'll send out links to figure out how you guys can pay and order those pictures from her directly. But it's a great way to just see the growth of the child and throughout the year. We've also partnered up with the Library on Wheels. We've partnered up with the Beaverton Library. They bring a bag of books that kind of follow the theme of the month. The library staff will come over and they'll put on like a interactive story time. Could be doing like songs or a puppet show with the books. Our Spanish immersion class will do a book in Spanish and a book in English and vice versa with the songs. But they do a good job of trying to like build that lifelong love of reading. So those are some good partnerships that we've established over the years. Other resources we use throughout all of our preschool programs, we have inclusion services that are offered to all THPRD services or our programs. This is where we'll have a inclusion assistant in the program, helping anybody that has a disability that may need an accommodation to be successful in class. There's a lot of information on our website, regarding some of the inclusion services and how to apply to get an inclusion assistant. So if you have any questions, you can always reach out to a program coordinator if that's something that you feel is necessary for your child to be successful in the preschool. Other resources we use, we have a partnership sort of with the Northwest Regional ESD. They provide a lot of like those outside resources where you can bring in like a speech therapist into the program and help somebody that's kind of going through those struggles, or it could be another form of therapy that maybe THPRD can't offer at the time. So if you have questions about any of these accommodations or resources, please reach out to your program coordinator. We'd be happy to help.
So all of our programs have teacher conferences. We really stress that, a teacher conference is really not the only time that is available to kind of ask about how your kids are doing in the program. Check in and check out. While we try to kind of get everybody checked in and checked out in a, reasonable amount of time, is a great time to have kind of a quick check-in with the teachers for the program. Especially at pickup, it's a great time to get that, easy information, how your child was doing in class for the day, if there was any concerns or, anything that came up throughout the day. That's a great time to get that information. Some of our programs will offer a fall teacher conference where they actually will, have more of that formal sit-down conference with the teachers. All of our programs do have in the spring a conference. We do have an evaluation where the teachers kind of fill out how the kids have progressed throughout the year, and how they're meeting the standards for kindergarten entry into the Beaverton School District. And so that's a much more formal conference at the end of the year. But we do always want to encourage that communication between parents and teachers. If there's ever something that, comes up where, we need to have more of a meeting, we can always schedule time between parents and teachers throughout the year to sit down and have, a meeting, discuss anything that's going on. Also, if there's things that come up in personal lives, sometimes that will carry into the classroom, and it's nice for the teachers to have a heads up to know that, something's happening outside of school, just so we understand kind of the changes of the children throughout class. Our behaviors for class, we really try to encourage the positive behaviors. We try not to focus on the negative. We do have expectations that, the kids are following directions, or listening to the teachers, they're being kind and respectful. We realize that, preschool age children are learning what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. And so that's part of our preschool program, is guiding children to understand, what is okay, what's not okay. And overall, we realize that all behavior from children is a way for them to try to communicate. They're trying to figure out how to express their feelings, to express their emotions, and that a lot of things that happen that we may look at as being negative behaviors are them trying to figure out how to communicate, what they're actually feeling. And so we really try to work on that positive aspect and encourage the positive and try to get there, so that we can help the kids be successful, not only in our preschool program, but continuing on through the rest of their lives.
For all our 9-month programs, we do ask that all of the children have the ability to and are comfortable with using the restroom independently. The exception is our 2.5-year-old class at the Fano Farmers. But for the rest of our classes, we do need them to be fully restroom independent. Our teachers will still bring them to the restrooms and wait for them and make sure there's no one else in the restroom or anything like that. But we do want them to be able to, pull their pants up and take care of themselves in each of those bathrooms. For absences and illnesses, we just ask that you let us know, keep them home if they're sick, and then let us know if they're not going to be in. You can just call the center. And then anything that's a communicable disease, so COVID or chickenpox or lice or something like that, we would ask that you let us know so that we can inform other families if it's something that could be communicable. Oh, and then if a kid does become sick during class, we will call home and have them sent home early. But we're unable to give credit for days missed due to sickness.
So yeah, obviously safety is our number one concern. We do our best to, avoid these kind of certain circumstances, but all of our staff are first aid and CPR trained. We will provide our basic first aid for bumps and bruises and minor cuts and things like that. If there's anything that is an emergency, we will definitely be calling 911. Our staff will inform supervisors and parents and make sure everyone is well aware of the emergency and how we're handling it. And then anytime we are going on a walk or a off-site location during our time, we're always going to have a first aid kit or a emergency phone, a walkie-talkie, some sort of line of communication between staff and facility. So we obviously take this very serious, and we will always voice our concerns and let you guys know if anything happened during the day, even if it was just a minor bonk on the head. Our communication with you about safety is really important for us as well. So we will always be talking about that.
And like everyone has said, communication is really important to us. We have a couple of different ways that we communicate. We will just send emails. We have a newsletter that is often emailed out once a month. We also call home, or if you want to check in about anything, we're happy to go and have a quick phone chat. And then at check-in and out, you can either talk to the teachers about any concerns that you might have or things that you want to let them know about. And then also your program coordinator is happy to come and check in with you if you have any concerns. We also depending on the class, have some private social media groups that we use. So we have like a closed nature center class Instagram that we use. And then at the end of the year, we ask everyone to download the pictures that they want, and then we delete them and start it fresh. But just so you can stay up to date on what fun shenanigans they're getting up to during the day. And then the other way that we like to connect is through volunteering. So we do offer the opportunity for parents to volunteer in the classroom. And I think I'm going to give you a little more information about that on my next slide. Great. So we do offer parent volunteering. The thing to know is that there is a pretty extensive background check process. So we have a two-step system. In order to have an adult in the classroom, you have to be background checked. All of our staff are background checked, but also the volunteers. So there'll be one check through TH Purity and a second one through the Oregon Early Learning Division, which does include fingerprinting, which you will not be charged for, but it is a bit of an arduous process. So just know that it can take a little bit of time to get cleared to be able to join us in the classroom, but once you are, we would love to have you there. And our parent volunteers help out with, preparing crafts or helping kiddos, those scissors are pretty hard sometimes. So assisting with any of our activities, maybe joining circle time. We've had parents who have a special talent and want to come play the guitar with us. So we love to have you involved. We do ask that our volunteers assist the entire class and don't just focus on their own child. You're welcome to, redirect or interact with your child as it's appropriate, but we do ask that you help assist with everyone. Oh, it says me too, sorry. Of course, it would be me. Cancellation. So sometimes, as you may have noticed lately, we have cancellations due to inclement weather. So if that is to happen, we are going to go and get a hold of you as quickly as we can, as soon as we know that we're going to have to cancel. That can be via email. We also have a phone number that you can get text alerts for. So we put that on there for any program at THPRD. If we are canceled or delayed due to the weather, it will be posted on our website. And so there's more information about that on THPRD's website.
And so this is a list kind of other classes. So if your child is not quite old enough to meet the age requirements for the 9-month preschool, or maybe it's, too long, we have kids who aren't ready for kind of the time commitment to be able to be in a classroom setting for 2.5, 3 hours for 2 to 3 hours in a week. Cedar Hills has a first time friends class. They also have ABC Come Learn With Me. Nature Center has Preschool Explorers. Conestoga has a play school and a play school junior, as well as the Athletic Center has a Bright Mind. So these are options that help start to introduce that classroom setting for kids that's not quite as long of a time commitment during the week. And it's just something that is a great intro into that 9-month setting. With that is going to bring us up to the end of our presentation for today. I know there's been a few questions that have come up in the chat. I think some of them have been answered. As we move forward, this slide has our contact information. It's got our preschool webpage. It has lots of information on all of the programs that we offer. There is also the contact information here. If you're looking at the bilingual program or the Fano Farmhouse, please reach out to Tyler Franson. If you are looking at Cedar Hills Recreation Center, you can reach out to myself, Ted Doom. Or if you're looking at anything at the Tualatin Hills Nature Center or Jenkins Estate, please reach out to Rachel. And at this point, we are going to open up into questions and answers. So if you guys have any questions that you have, feel free, you can type them into the chat. If you want to go ahead, raise your hand, we can see about getting calling on you to get those questions answered for you.
Yeah, I'll just bring up one of the questions that we just had in the chat, which I thought was a good one to talk about. And the question was, what other measures do you take to ensure student safety as far as other people who may wander in or nearby, or situations when the students are outside?
I know that at Conestoga, we do use outside playgrounds and our indoor play park for places like that. The bilingual class will wear high vis vests, or when they're walking through the classroom, they may be using, or from the classroom down to the location, they may be using a rope to help with the organization of the line. The teachers will always be in the front and in the back, and kind of escorting them down to that area. So we do make sure that people can see the kids. And then if they are in public places, if a kid is wearing a vest, the parents or the public know that they are with one of our programs. And if there's a concern, the families can reach out to the teachers. But those are some, and like all of our places are enclosed and have supervision. That way it's not like they can just kind of wander out and not be seen or out in the parking lot. But that's how we do it at Conestoga for our classes. And then even for Fano, if we're going to like Greenway Park for a walking thing, it'll be the same thing, high vis vest and a rope if needed. So yeah.
And at the Nature Center, we are open to the public, so there are public people coming to visit the park. So we work really hard on making sure that we're doing lots of head counts and keeping all the children near us so that everyone is watching really diligently. And we also use a rope when we're going from one location to another location. We also have radios on all of our staff. So if someone was to come into the park that we were concerned or something like that, and we needed to communicate with the front desk, we can go and communicate really quickly with our radios. And we have indoor spaces that we can move to if at any time we need to just come inside for a little bit.
And I would say Cedar Hills is really going to be kind of the same in that, is that, we really look out for the safety of the children. We always have, teachers there with them. As we said earlier, our maximum student to teacher ratio is 1 to 10. Oftentimes we are, 1 to 6, 1 to 5. But our maximum is that one teacher for 10 kids max. But we really work out to ensure the safety of the kids, even, open facilities. Cedar Hills is open to other activities, other programs. When kids are in the classroom, we have doors that are closed and locked, so it's not something that somebody can just come and walk into the classroom. It is kind of a closed environment, and, as we do intermingle in kind of a park setting, we do watch out for the safety of all of the kids.
Another question is about tours. Wondering if Cedar Hills is open for possible tours, but go ahead and talk about all the centers and possibilities for tours.
So yes, if you're looking at touring any of the facilities, just reach out to Tyler, Rachel, or myself. We can always set up a tour. Typically, we do them outside of our preschool classroom hours so that we're not disturbing the preschool class that's in session. But we're always more than welcome to have people come in, see the facility, see the classroom. We even have times that we can set up where you can meet the current teachers to kind of get a better idea of that. And again, you just have to reach out to one of the program coordinators and we'll get that scheduled and set up for you.
Another question was about inclement weather, like we have had recently. Is there going to be any tuition reimbursement? And I'll go ahead and just answer this. It's all based on kind of how long the extended weather is. Luckily for this last one, most of our preschool classes only had 2 days of closure because of the holiday on the Monday. So we did not. So there is no guarantee of tuition reimbursement for inclement weather. When it is an extended, or if we have another bout of snow and there is additional closures, then our supervisory team will be discussing that and seeing if a refund will be made, but there is no expectation for minor inclement weather. And then what are the max number of kids per class? So I answered ours in the chat that for chipmunks and hummingbirds, for our younger age group, we have 12 kids with 2 instructors typically. And then for our 4-5s, it's 14 kids. Can you guys tell us about your maximums for the other programs?
Yep.
Yeah,
I'll
I know.
go ahead, Tyler, if you want to
Sorry.
go.
I know that Conestoga, we vary our class sizes depending on our age. So the highest we'd go is like with the older kids is 18, but we don't really get into that too much. And then for the youngest kids is 14. So the 2.5 to 3.5-year-olds is 14. We are set up a slightly different at Fano Farmhouse for that. We have 2 co-teacher or a lead teacher and a co-teacher, and then we have a third person that kind of floats between both classes as like a break person. So there's usually 3 bodies there for any kind of support that may be needed. So our ratio does drop on that. But also speaking on like the ratios, if we had an inclusion aide or parent volunteer, we will never count those people as a part of our ratio. It's always going to be someone that is staff there. Any extra bodies, like an inclusion aide or a volunteer, is just extra help that can be used in the classroom. So ours varies, but it's 14, 16, and 18, depending on the age.
And I would say Cedar Hills is pretty close. We have our 3.5 to 4-year-olds, our maximum is 15, and then our 4 to 5-year-olds is 18. And that's going to be the maximum for the classes. Again, I saw something about tours come up in the chat a little bit. Tours are available at all of the centers. Just reach out to one of the program coordinators and we can get a tour scheduled for you. Registration, just to talk about again, starting tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. will be for current students only. So if you currently have a student that is enrolled in the program at one of our centers, you will be able to register for that student or for siblings. Again, if you want to sign up for the Fano Farmhouse or the bilingual program, you need to contact Conestoga, so either in person or over the phone. If you are looking at the Cedar Hills Rec Center, making sure you're coming in to Cedar Hills or calling Cedar Hills. And then same thing if you're looking for the Tualatin Hills Nature Center or Jenkins Estate, registration will be at the Nature Center tomorrow morning. Starting next week on Thursday will be open registration and everybody will be able to register online. The class codes were on the previous slides. It's also listed on the preschool webpage. And so if you are looking for those, you can copy down that class code and starting next Thursday at 9 a.m. you'll be able to register online for those classes.
And Karen, I did see a question about the central background check process. Did you want to chat about that one?
Sure, yeah, I think I answered it in the chat, but if they're already in the central background check and we're able to link your past registry with our current program and they give us a thumbs up, you would not have to do that process again. Another question about potty training. So maybe your child isn't currently potty trained, but you are working towards it, but don't know the actual situation as it will be in September. That is fine. You can still register and pay the registration fee. And if it comes to August, we ask for a 30 days notice, talk to the program coordinator about the current situation and just the ability, how it matches with the program, and then you would make a decision then, but you wouldn't be penalized other than the registration fee is non-refundable. So just try to have those conversations at least 30 days before the program starts. Another good question. Should we assume we're able to register on the 15th without issue, or will there be possibilities of a waiting list?
So registration, unfortunately, I have no magic 8-ball to be able to kind of foresee. I do expect that there will be openings available come open registration. Typically we do start current families a week earlier so that we can, better guarantee that there'll be a spot available. Most programs have spaces available come open registration. Unfortunately, it's kind of fluid, and there's no great way to answer that. Typically, we have plenty of space available. Classes do tend to fill up on that open registration at times, and so there may be a wait list. If you are waitlisted into a program, you can always enroll in one of the other centers if that works for you. But again, hopefully we will be able to get everybody in, but there is a possibility of being added onto a wait list.
And to be on the wait list, just to be clear, you do not have to pay the registration fee. That is not until a spot is available to you in the class, and then you would pay that to register. So we always encourage you to hop on the wait list because there's often a lot of movement between now and September.
There was a question about inclusion for help with toileting if potty training is not achievable by kind of the start of class. Typically, inclusion assistants do not help with personal care or services, including toileting, changing, or feeding. But what I would recommend is just reach out to the inclusion team directly just to talk about your needs, just to get the answer directly from them. But typically it does not. Another question is, are safety drills practiced during class?
We had an earthquake drill not too long ago. It's not something that we do super regularly. And Ted and Tyler, you can speak for your locations, but because these are preschoolers and it can be extremely overstimulating, we often will talk through what we would do in a safety emergency, but not do a full drill. For example, when we had our earthquake drill around the district, they were doing alarms and things like that. For our preschool class, we did not turn on the sound of the alarm. We talked through what was going to happen, practice going underneath the table, practice talking about what is an earthquake, and used it as an educational moment. But in this age group, this is the most early exposure to something like that usually. So we try to be as gentle as possible explaining those processes.
Yeah, and at Conestoga and especially Fano Farmhouse, like it's at a different location, and we want our staff and kids to know where that evacuation site is, like the assembly point, or if something was to happen. And then it's just good for our staff to just know, the process and where to go at those offsite locations. Anytime that there was an earthquake drill on site, we usually know ahead of time, and I try to send out a quick email giving a heads up. Hey, today or on this date, we're going to have an earthquake drill. I would rather get ahead of that and let the parents know than all of a sudden like picking the kids up and they're talking about evacuating and all that type of stuff. And I don't want any surprises for you guys. So we try to communicate that as much as we possibly can and give you a heads up. And it's, I think, good practice for them. We use the whole rope thing. We get out there, we show them where the assembly point is, and then we come back in. It's nothing like, we're not going to send them out in the rain or anything like that, but we do take it serious.
And I'd say Cedar Hills, same thing. We do have drills that we practice. We want to make sure that, kids are comfortable with it and they understand. And, we take the time to kind of walk through and explain and really let them know what's going on and why. Because we do want, in case of an emergency, for them to kind of have that pre-experience to it. So we do practice drills with them and, really work to help them through it. Preschool programs, I saw if you are waitlisted for a program, we do add kids throughout the 9-month year. So if a spot becomes available, we will reach out to anybody on the wait list, or if we have open spots throughout the year, we will register people throughout that 9-month period.
And just to get to the number of kind of what you should expect in terms of wait lists or not, it's going to be program and location specific. There are a few programs which you may expect to have a wait list, some at some point on day one. For the nature center, I'll just speak about that. Typically, it's for often the dragonflies and the ladybugs tends to fill on day one. Our younger classes, chipmunks and hummingbird, have been very inconsistent about when they fill or not lately. And then there's typically more space in the afternoon program for owls. So it's really what age is your child, which program and which location, in terms of which programs will have waiting lists. Another
Yeah.
question. Oh, yeah, go ahead, Tyler.
Sorry, and I know that Conestoga, the Pearls class fills up pretty quick because it's the only 2.5 to 3.5-year-old preschool in the district. So I know that's with one option, it's going to fill up. So, but I still encourage get on that wait list if it is full, because September is a long time away. So anything can happen.
Yeah, and I'll just echo that. One of the questions, would you recommend registering for more than one class to try to increase the odds of securing a first time out of district spot? You only have to register for one spot. That's the one you want. You can go though. So I recommend only register for one spot and pay that $50 non-refundable deposit for the class your primary class. But then you can get on as many waiting lists as you want. You can get on every single waiting list because there is no fee to get on the waiting list. And we do have movement. We fully recognize that it is February and we are talking about preschool in September. And there is a lot of changes in family situations. So if you are number 5 on a wait list, and this is, you have your heart set on one program, there's still a chance. There is typically movement, right, in the summer with people moving, situations changing. So get on as many wait lists as you want for what preschool would potentially work for your family. All right, scroll down. So yes, if you're waitlisted, a spot can be available anytime. I think Ted kind of spoke to this, but that is absolutely true. Anytime we're still kind of working through, we have families that just moved out of state mid-year, and then we opened up that spot. So yes, we would take new families throughout the school year. And yes, you can request that your child not be photographed and shared on the social media group. What we request is that you just connect with the program coordinator and the team and make that request. We would document it and then make sure that that child is not included in our social media or in our future promotional materials that we share about our preschool programs. And then if anyone else has any questions, feel free to put it in the chat or just raise your hand, unmute yourself, and ask the team that's here for you.